Hello everyone. Today I'm going to share with you a checklist that I prepared for myself before moving to Canada, and it really proved to be a useful practice. So I would also suggest you the same. I have prepared this checklist in the form of a document, and I will try to share this document with you in the description section of the video. So maybe at the end you would like to add or refine in this list. You would like to add some more points to consider based on your own specific situation. So let's see what we have got here today. Okay, so here is our file that I would like to call points to consider before first landing. So to start with, the first item that you should take care of is the currency change. Based on my experience, I only carried 500 Canadian dollars with me, and I would also suggest you not to carry much cash with you. The best thing to do is to send your amount online to someone in Canada. That way you would possibly get the best exchange rate. And there are certain banks in Canada which actually facilitate you to by opening your account even before you arrive there, and believe me, it's all secure. If you have someone over there, send the money to them, and if not, then you can just open your account with those banks. I will share with the information of those banks with you in a while, but let's see what we have as other items in this list. The second thing is wall socket adapter. So make sure all your electrical and electronic appliances have some adapter to be connected to the wall sockets in Canada. So let's first see that what type of wall socket is there in Canada. So you will find this type of sockets in the wall in Canada, and this would only accommodate this type of connector. So if your electrical or electronic appliances does not have this type of connector, then you must purchase these type of adapters, which we call universal to US or US to universal. So it must be having this type of parallel pins to fix into this type of wall socket. It can have 2 pins, or the third pin optionally it will also have as a ground pin. So for this purpose, I would recommend you to purchase a good quality adapter for your electrical requirements. A good quality adapter will have a rating of 10 to 20 amperes, and it will be able to support devices of up to 2500 watts. Now, for example, if this is my mobile charger, now in its current state of pin configuration, this cannot be directly connected to this wall socket. So what I will do is that I will use this adapter in between. I will connect it, and now this thing can be easily plugged into the wall and can give my mobile the charging that it requires. The next thing is about your credit card. So probably right after you land there in Canada, you will not have a credit card from a Canadian bank. So it's always a good idea to have a credit card from your own country of residence. But make sure you call and inform the bank that is a provider of your credit card, and inform them about your travel plans, so that way they will not block it, because sometimes they tend to block the credit cards if they are suddenly used outside the country. The next thing is the safe wrap for luggage. Well, nowadays airports provide this facility to have your luggage safely wrapped against some cost, but I would suggest you not to do safe wrap for your luggage, because if there is a custom investigation on your luggage, then it will be difficult to open the luggage over there and then repack it. So just keep your luggage properly closed and locked. That is it. Okay, with the baby equipment rentals, what it is mentioning to is that if you are having kids, so probably you will be taking them along with you in the private cars over there. But in Canada, it is a very strict requirement to use proper uh, child car seats. Otherwise, you will get a violation ticket. So if you happen to not bringing the child car seats and equipment with you, then maybe it's a good idea to get these things on rent. So there are few companies that actually are doing business in this regard, and they provide you child equipment for car. And even if you would like, they can deliver those items to you right at the airport. So here are 3 links for that. Also, if you intend to drive a vehicle over there right after a few days of your landing, so maybe at that time you will not be having actually probably you will not be having a Canadian driving license. So make sure you get yourself one international driver's permit. And there are some rules mentioned on this website of Ontario that for how long you can use your license from your country, from your previous country of residence, and for how long you can use the international driving license in Canada. Let me tell you, international license you can use up till 1 year in Canada, while your own existing license, normal driving license from your country, you can use over there for 3 months. So make sure you get one if you would like to rent a car and drive over there. For car rental, I would like to suggest you to use Enterprise Car Rental. They have offices in almost every major part in Ontario, in British Columbia, and in other provinces. You need to see their website and it will tell you everything. The good thing about it is that you can book your car online, and also you can request a pick and drop service. So wherever you are, they will provide you a pick and drop service while you do a car rental. And please don't forget to purchase DW. DW is a damage waiver. So this will give you a waiver from any type of damage that may happen to your rented car. Also, it is highly suggested to start preparing for your Canadian driving license, and obviously the first step in doing that is to write the G1 driver license exam at the earliest possible. For this one, I have prepared another video for which the link is here, but let me tell you a brief idea. By the way, I sat for the test on 3rd October and I passed on the same day, and I received my card on 25th October, and this is quite quick. So by the way, the preparation handbook for the driver's test, which is a first level test G1, is present on this location, and this website is for the preparation. It has got some simulation exams. This site is for you to book your road tests, which are actually subsequent tests. After you pass your G1, there will be 2 road tests, and you will need this link to book those tests. For G1, there is no booking. You can just go walk in and do the test. This is another preparation website. And finally, this video in which I have given proven strategies that how can you pass the test in the shortest possible time. Okay, after this, I would advise you to have the contact information of your friends or family over there handy in this document. So what you can do is you can write contact one house address, and write the detailed house address here and maybe the mobile number in front of it. Then if you have house location of your contact too, so maybe you can ask them for the Google Map location, and then contact to house address, because these house addresses you may need to provide to the Canadian customs at the airport, because your Canadian PR cards will be delivered to some permanent Canadian address. So just decide yourself that to whom you would like to deliver your PR cards to. So maybe 2 or 3 contacts, house locations, Google Maps, and their detailed house addresses with their mobile numbers. You can write in your this document. Another important thing is that probably from airport you would be taking a taxi to anywhere that you will be going to in Canada. Well, I landed at the Toronto airport and I used Uber for myself. This is some information for Uber, and this website can help you getting the estimates from Toronto airport to different locations within Ontario. And this is further to this website, which will give you more information on the type of cars, where to meet your driver. It will explain you very nicely, so make sure you go over it once before leaving for the airport from your country. Next is that you may decide to use your own local SIM for a day or two before you actually buy a Canadian mobile SIM. So make sure that for your own SIM you know that which network to select in Canada to get you the lowest roaming charges. Also, if you are traveling via some other country and you are having a layover in some other countries in between your flight, so you make sure you also find out the best roaming operator for those countries. For example, I was coming over a flight that had a layover in Schiphol airport. So in Netherlands Vodafone was good, and in Canada Bell and Telus was good. So anyhow, okay, about your PR card. So your PR card will be applied right after you're landing at the airport at the immigration officer's desk. You will provide the immigration officer with your COPR and the passport, and he will apply for your PR cards in the system. The immigration officer will surely ask you for a permanent Canadian address to deliver the cards at a later date. Make sure you provide them a valid Canadian address. It is also important to point out here is that if you are a family of 2 or 3 persons, then all of your PR cards might not arrive together. Maybe 1 or 2 cards will come early and some cards might be arriving late. Okay, so the next thing is social insurance number. You will apply for this number at the airport, or if you prefer, you can also apply it later at any Service Canada office that you can find within the city. If you want to apply it at the airport, this Service Canada office is located just beside the immigration counter. So as soon as you get free from the immigration officer, he will also point you towards this office. So here you will again provide your COPR, passport for each applicant, and you will get the SIN on spot in the form of a printed paper. Okay, for your health insurance cards, you need to apply for them to Service Ontario Centre. So there are many Service Ontario centers all over Ontario. You will have to give a permanent address over there, and okay, make sure you go over these links to get more information on when you will be eligible to apply for your health insurance cards. If you are just doing a soft landing, like your plan is to come after a week or 2 before permanently settling there, and you have a plan to move there at a later time, then it's a good idea not to apply for insurance cards at this time. And you will get to know more on these conditions by visiting these links. So make sure you do that. Okay, regarding the local Canadian mobile SIM, what I have found that this Cheddar Mobile is a good service in terms of coverage, and the good thing is that this one is available right at the airport next to the information desk after you reach arrivals terminal 3, as mentioned here. So it has a good coverage in Greater Toronto area and Vancouver. So you can look for Charter Mobile or Freedom Mobile or Bell or TELUS, but make sure you do some homework by visiting the websites of the respective mobile operators in Canada. Regarding Canadian banks, so obviously the bank would be one of the most important aspects of your Canadian life. So there are certain banks which offer accounts for newcomers with some promotion. So you can get that information from this link, the type of banks that welcome newcomers and the offers they provide to newcomers. Usually the banks in Canada charge customers a little amount of monthly fee to maintain their checking account, but that fee would not be applied to newcomers till up to for about 1 year. So a SIN number would be required to get an account and to apply for credit card. Also, you can apply for the account and credit card for your spouse. What I have found based on my research from this link and by talking to different friends over there in Canada, that these two banks, TD Canada Trust and BMO, are the most suitable and convenient for newcomers. This TD Canada Trust actually works 7 days a week, and it has the most branches and ATMs across Canada. So I use myself TD Canada, but there are some good features in BMO newcomer offer as well. So you can select out of these two, or you can select any other bank by visiting this link and checking different promotions and that suit you. Now for Canada Child Benefit, if you are a family having kids, then it's always recommendable to apply for child benefit as soon as possible. But just as I discussed with you regarding the health insurance card, if you are not planning to get settled there during this visit, then don't apply for this benefit just now. It may be a problem for you later on. Just you should apply it only when you are there for permanently being settled. Now, if you are interested like me to sponsor your parents in near future for a Canadian permanent residency, you can have that information on this link, that what are the requirements and how you become eligible to do that. Regarding the declaration card is a mandatory part of your arrival at Toronto Airport. So the declaration card used to be circulated during the flight in the form of printed cards, but this practice has been discontinued since couple of years. So what you will have there is that as you arrive at the Toronto Airport, you will find kiosks before the immigration counters, and over there you will need to fill out some information regarding your name, address, flight, and the items you are bringing with you. There is a video from somebody who has prepared this video from the point of view that if you are filling the card by hand, but as I told you, this practice is not being followed anymore. So let me just show you that how those kiosks look like. But it is my own photo, but I didn't get a chance to actually make a video over there. Okay, so as you can see that there are ample number of kiosks available, so there won't be you will not face any queue. So here is me trying to help some other person, and I'm my kids fooling around. So anyhow, this is it. Another thing is proof of funds. Well, I have been told that at the time of arrival in Canada, I may again be asked about the bank statement and to show that I have the required amount in my bank. That bank could be from my existing country of residence. So I just took an account statement from my existing bank, but I was never asked to show any proof of funds over there. For if you are having babies and you're also carrying a stroller for the babies, so You must know that the strollers do not count towards your check-in baggage weight or item. So either you can just submit it at the check-in baggage without being counted toward baggage, or you can use it till the point of boarding. Those will be put in a plastic bag before you board into the flight. And right after you leave the aeroplane, your strollers will be returned to you. About carrying food items with you, first of all, it is not preferable to do so, because it takes a little bit more time through custom clearance, and sometimes there can be a little bit of question and answers. Although there won't be a big problem as long as you are not carrying any wrong item with you. And in order to know precisely that what items are allowed and in which quantity, you can go to this link and use this tool by entering the type of food item, solid or liquid, you are taking with you. It gives you a very nice description of first of all, it will ask you from where you are taking this amount item, what it is for, and then it will give you either it is approved or not approved, and if it is approved, then it's how much quantity it is approved. So you can use this link for that type of information and preparation. Regarding birth certificates, I was also told about carrying birth certificates and copy or original, but nobody asked me for birth certificate at any instant during throughout my whole stay over there. But of course, if you are moving there permanently, then birth certificate is obviously a mandatory part of your whole document. Okay, regarding lists of goods and items, this topic would require you to put some effort to prepare these lists, and hence it also requires some explanation. Well, Canadian Border Service Agency requires every immigrant to prepare and bring two lists over there. The first list is supposed to contain the items that the immigrant is bringing with him just now, and the second list must mention all the valuable belongings that the immigrant intends to bring in later years. So I would suggest you, actually the rule here is to list all the valuable items in your lists, and especially the gold and other important or expensive metals that are under your possession. For those type of items, make sure that you bring color photos, weight and carat information mentioned on the color photos. You can prepare it as in the form of a document and take a color printout of it. The immigration guys will keep a record of these lists and photos of your valuable gold or precious metals, and in the years to come, if you are bringing those items gradually with you in your subsequent visits, so you will need to carry these lists as a proof with you always, to show the immigration that this I have already declared earlier and now I am bringing with it. So this will allow you to bring any belongings that you currently possess in your country to bring into Canada without paying any duty, any customs or duty. So make sure you go through these three links which explain in further detail. If maybe I have missed something in my verbal presentation, so you can go through these links to find out more about what exactly is required, and also the designated forms you will find in these links. So you would be required to fill out the list in those designated forms. Okay, let me just give you an example of how you can prepare the photos for your jewelry items. So you can see here, this is one item. I took its photo and then I made a heading, pen it with chain, and then I wrote the gram and carat. Another item I will show you here, it's a set of earpieces with a total weight of this many grams and carat. So this way you can prepare all of your items and categorize them together if they are small items, or individually you can also place one item in one photo with respective heading and other information. Now So we have almost arrived at the end of this document. So this is actually just a personal item. Since I was visiting Ontario, so I just jotted down some tourist attractions for us to visit and enjoy. So feel free to also visit these places. All of these places, I think we went to all these places except Blue Mountain. We just decide not to go over there since it was too much to cover all these items in 2 weeks or more, maybe 3 weeks. So anyhow, okay, in the last I would like to say something regarding your employment activities. So probably as soon as you will be arriving there, you will feel concerned to start your employment activities. In this regard, make sure you keep your NOC code and the title handy, since this information would be required for the employment agencies and the settlement agencies that you may be contacting with to help you finding the relevant job in your profession or field. So this NOC code would be the one that you selected during your PR application. In relation to your employment activities, I would advise you to join one of the bridging programs in Ontario or within any province that you intend to get settled in. These bridging programs are actually designed for newly landed immigrants, and the goal of these type of programs is to give the newcomers the understanding of Canadian job market, job culture. These programs also give in-depth training in some of the subjects that relates to your specific field of work or expertise. So here are some links. The first link belongs to an Ontario website, and this link specifies all the available bridging programs within the province of Ontario. You can have a look at each of these links and maybe try to find out a suitable bridging program with respect to your previous experience or the field of your expertise, and hopefully this program will benefit you in your long-term employment goals. That was it. I hope you will benefit out of these points that I just shared with you, and if you do so, make sure you let me know in the comments, and also try to share this experience with your friends and family who might be planning to move to Canada like you, like me. And at the end, I would like to thank you, and hopefully I will see you next time with some other videos.